you know what I'm saying? It works wonders for me now, sucker.
All right.
Don't worry about that.
Okay,
I got one over here.
I think we should
But
be
you don't know
live
how to
now.
use it.
I haven't
Yeah.
I haven't learned how to
Hold
use
on.
it yet.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, I got you on something. I can help you though. It is kind of technical, but it's not OBS technical. But I can help you with it if you need some help. I have no problem with that.
Man, I still have trouble with OBS. Like the chat, for some reason, like there are days it will work for me, and there are days it won't work for me, and then there are days where like the entire stream will just like shut down randomly for me.
Well, what
Yeah.
what do you use to capture the chat? Are you using a browser where you're grabbing the URL? Are you using
Well,
like
Another-
where?
when I set
Another thing, too,
set this
is
whole
what
thing
kind of
up, it
apps
was
do you have
when I set the-
running too
when-
could affect it too. If you got a whole bunch of apps going on at one time, like let's say if you got Steam or GOG or Twitter or something like that, sometimes some of them things can pull some of your speed memory and stuff like that. So you might have to take some of that stuff out.
Listen to this.
I've
guy.
been trying to remove some stuff.
Hey, you know, but you know what I'm saying. All I gotta do is get taught once, and then everything else I can take over and I can do for myself. I just
Yo,
need to
dude,
have fun.
I'll know you hit the top of the mountain when you can tell me how I made the next logo the way I did in next podcast when we're live. I don't know if you noticed it, but it's fire, brother. It's fire.
All right. With that being said, we are live now. So
We are live.
Fire.
yeah. Well, I just want to go ahead and say thank you for you guys. Thank you for showing up and being dependable, Ryan.
2 out of 3 ain't bad right now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to try to make it like a four people I want to have on, but I was trying to invite FC on, but he couldn't make it. So yeah. Because honestly, the first people that got me into podcasting was K Mega, then I think it was FC Violent, and then Ryan, and then it was you, Bot.
What did I do? Don't blame me.
No. You guys got me into podcasting. You guys helped me out, just like spread my channel around.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a tendency to do that. I spread many things around in many communities. Sometimes they're not so good. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you end up with an itchy rash, something like that.
Oh God, that's a bit.
It is what it is.
That's a bit too much information right there for me. But
Well, this is a later show for me, so too much information might come out. I just want to let you know that.
great. Well, hopefully this stream doesn't get demonetized. But oh well. But,
It already did when you listed special guests. It's like automatic. Like they're like him and him. Nah.
oh well, damn! I can't fight that then. Man, like the first time I showed up on your podcast was like I made sure to look up the information. I couldn't find what the exact episode I showed up for K Megas, because he doesn't put that episode like you, where you put like season 3 episode, like whatever, you know.
Yeah, I have a tendency to be nice to my subscribers and my followers, and try to keep things documented in such a way that it'd be easy to go back into the archive and find. I'm just saying, that's what I try to do.
Well, yeah, I take the I put the number on the what's called on the title, not on the title, but on the
Thumbnail?
On the thumbnail. Yeah, I put the number
Oh,
on.
okay.
Yeah, so I mean, I mean, I could always, because I'm trying to put, keep trying to keep space for when I'm trying to put the topics down, but I could go back to putting the numbers down. I can put it back.
It's hard. It is, dude. Especially when you start getting into seasons.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you got space. There's only so much space to do a title, man.
It is.
Yep. Let's go ahead and let me get your guys' introductions out of the way. So let's save the best for last. Let's go with UK Mega.
All right.
So, what have you been up to, man? Any new games you've been playing besides, of course, Cyberpunk, which we'll talk about later?
Yeah, I'll jump back on Halo 5, because I've been away from doing the streaming thing for a couple of weeks. Well, doing other games streaming other than Fight Night, but I'm getting back into doing that again. So, jump back on Halo. I'm ready to get into some Destiny and get back into Division. So I'll probably be getting back into that. And wow, what else have I been playing? I've been kind of just randomly playing a whole COD. I've been playing a lot of COD. Um so I'm kind of been playing all these shooters, but I definitely got to get back into my sports. I got to definitely do that. So it's just a bunch of things, man, that I just try to cycle through. I mean, but every Sunday, I gotta play my fighters, man. I gotta go ahead and do that.
And you're consistent with your
Work
fighting
the crawl.
streams too.
Yeah, man. It's doing pretty good. It's doing pretty good. I enjoy that people are watching and they liking it, and the feedback. I see Big Cloud be coming in and checking us out, man. So yeah, shout out to him for coming in and checking us out. He's like, last night he came in, or I should say this morning he came in and said, "Damn, y'all still streaming?" I was like, "Man, yeah, we in the zone." And then by the more that you see, you tell that when it's not no longer K-Mega's time of winning, I start losing. I get tired, or they pick a game where they want me to play so they could just beat me down. But I held my own last night in Mortal Kombat X. I usually am horrible in Mortal Kombat X, but I held my own last night, so I felt good. Felt good. But those are the games I've been playing.
Oh, that's some great news to hear.
Yeah,
And,
yeah, yeah.
and now you, Xbot. Any new games you've been playing besides Cyberpunk?
Well, my rotation. First off, my rotation does not include Cyberpunk right now. But I will say Destiny 2, which is why I got so excited when King Mega's like, "Yeah, I'm looking to get into Destiny." Like right now, the
I am.
Iron Banner is going on, and K Mega would not have fun in that right now because you have to get your power level up because it is power level dependent. So the higher power levels will literally snub out any of the little guys or whatnot. Maybe that's what I like about it. Like you get a bunch of easy kills, especially the first day of the first Iron Banner for the season. You get a bunch of just like it's almost laughable. But so I've been playing that. Great season so far, by the way. Really good season. Interesting weapons. I just did the raid with my son, and that was really cool. And the raid this time is actually it's not really difficult, man. Especially if you have a close knit group and a bunch of people that are a high power level, which the clan I'm in, pretty much all the people in that clan, their power level is like head and shoulders above mine. So it was kind of easy. I told them they were going to carry me, and that's what they did. They carried me all the way to the end. So, but other than that, man, Tetris Effect Connected. That game
Yeah, it's
is
a good game.
so addicting. Like Tetris has always been addicting. It's always been good. But there is something about this one, man. The way the beats go, the backgrounds and how the backgrounds change as it's progressing. All the different modes that it has, like the online kind of like co-op mode that it has with the connected. Yo, this game is fire, and it's funny because when I say I like this game, um, you know, people be like, "Oh, it's just Tetris. It's just Tetris," and I'm like, "Yo, you got to play it before you do that." I already know how to play it. It's Tetris. I was like, "Yeah, I know," but it's like Tetris on speed, man. It's freaking awesome.
I've been meaning to try out the Tetris Effect. I mean, ever since it came out for the VR, but haven't got a chance to go around to that.
Yeah, well, and Tetris Effect, I mean, it doesn't have the connected part to it, so it doesn't have that like co-op, uh, that online co-op game where you have three people and you all have your little window where you're playing Tetris, and at certain points in time you're trying to defeat this boss. At certain points in time, you get enough lines together, and that your three Tetris areas come together to make one massive one, and the three of you are trying to put together massive lines that will actually do damage to the boss. Will actually start like adding blocks into his little Tetris area. It is so cool. It's a blast. It's so much fun, especially when you have you're playing with two friends. Uh, and you're like, no, I'm gonna put mine there. No, you put yours over there, man. No, I got the purple one. It's gonna collapse this. Like, it starts getting insane, man. A lot of fun, and I can't believe they keep coming up with different modes for Tetris, dude. I really can't.
Tetris will never die. It seems like it keeps innovating on different games. So,
Dude, how do they keep coming up with different modes? I mean, they're basically squares put together to make certain, and you're trying to put them together.
it's
block
probably just the
style and make them
simplicity. It's just the simplicity of it, where it makes it easy to just have fun with. But,
Yeah,
but with that, what do you guys say we go into the topics?
we have topics.
Of course you do. I'm not just gonna go into this blind.
What kind of show is this?
I know, right? Dude, next podcast has topics, but K Mega never reads them because he's like,
No.
I already, it's like I already know everything, and then I'm like, yo, did you play this game? He's like, no, I didn't. I'm like, well, we're talking about that.
That's
Well, because there's usually some little game that is unnecessary. Really, it's probably like Peggle 2020, and then you were like, man, it's the greatest game ever, and I'm like, man, I'm over here putting in work
Peggle,
into.
brother.
Yeah, Peggle.
Don't knock Peggle, brother.
I'm not knocking Peggle. I'm saying all games are important. I'm just saying though, but when I'm engaging, when I'm engaging in greatness, I'll get to Peggle 2020 a little bit later, man. That's all.
To some people, Peggle is greatness. Okay, man. Like,
it's bad. It's bad. I never even heard of this.
Oh my goodness! You never heard of Peggle?
Nope.
Woo! Oh man!
Whoa, bro!
Wow.
That's like saying you never heard of the Jewels, man. Come on, brother.
Man.
Oh no, I've heard of that.
What about Bust a Move?
No.
Oh my God! What are we doing here? Oh my God!
Hey, Mega, how did we raise this guy? Like,
I don't know, man. Oh man! All right, well let's get to these topics before our host just falls down in flame. Let's go, man.
All right. So the first topic I want to start off with is with the newest news with EA trying to buy Codemasters and just, of course, stealing the deal from Take-Two. Wait, what did you say?
I said you starting with a big topic, Glenn.
Of course, it's hot news, so I have to talk about it.
Yes, sir.
I was seriously not expecting this. I've been trying to follow as much information as I can regarding Codemasters, and I thought that the Take-Two deal was finalized. But I guess I've seen the article that K-Mega shared saying that I guess whoever is in charge of the purchase, I guess, didn't agree with what Take-Two had to offer, with some of the offer was being in cash, and I guess some being stock in Take-Two. So I guess that had to be part of why Codemasters didn't sell. But I guess EA is just outright offering complete cash on hand. So I think this is going to be an interesting buy for EA, because they already have like Need for Speed, and like they already have like 2 developers that have been working on the franchise, and like they also have the what is it? EA that has Burnout too?
Yes.
Yeah. So they're no stranger to racing franchises, but what Codemasters does is honestly different from what they do, so it'll be interesting. But also, when I saw, of course, Take-Two announced that they were going to buy Codemasters, they also wanted it to fill out their like portfolio of games that they have, because they don't have a racing genre besides Midnight Club, and they haven't done anything with that for a long time now, ever since like the PS3. But honestly, when I saw this news, I was kind of heartbroken, because I wanted a new Midnight Club from.
Thank you.
Yes, I wanted a new Midnight Club for Codemasters, but seeing as this might not happen, that is just a big fat rip for me. But let me go ahead and get your guys' thoughts. What did you think when you first reported this, K-Mega?
Well, I mean, the first thing was, we talked about this, elsewhere, and
it sucks.
No. We talked about this elsewhere, and when they talked about Take-Two, I got excited myself, because I was thinking about Midnight Club, and then I'm also thinking about like they got Dirt, then plus they have Onrush, which is a really cool game, and so I'm thinking about like they got those, they could start like their own driving genres, under Take-Two, plus also add elements to their, to maybe Grand Theft Auto 6 to where they could have, you know, the driving mechanics be perfect and right. So
Well,
I was thinking of all
That's the
the.
thing they had with one of the Rockstar developers. I think was it North that developed the Midnight Club games. I believe they had them work
I
on.
believe so.
Yeah,
I'm not sure on that, but
they did have
yeah,
them work on GTA 5.
yeah. And so and the driving is cool in that game. But I mean, if you have your own studio that specializes in driving, then I mean, you're already set. So so it was a win-win from my perspective of it, from my look at it. I was excited because I'm like, man, Midnight Club and you know, give Forza some competition. And I understand that there'll be some people that say, well, um, GTA. I'm not GTA, but what's the other driving
Gran
game?
Turismo.
GT. Yeah, you know what I'm saying, because it's the granddaddy of them all. But it just isn't the same. Yes, it sells well, but racing enthusiasts all know that hey, this you know Forza is now kind of like the top dog, even though some people will
I think
debate which is simulation, what's not simulation. But go ahead. What you
I kind of debate that too, seeing as like
saying?
Forza, like the Forza series is more like an arcade type of racing, where
Hmm.
like Gran Turismo, like you get punished for like doing like, or if you hit somebody in the back, you get punished for that, or actually get slow down, I believe.
Well, some people just look at when they see Forza, they don't think about motorsports. They only just think about Horizon. Horizon is more of the more of the arcade, and then there'll be debates about like motorsports if it's more arcadey Twitch. But if you if you set your settings, it's very challenging. It can play almost as damaging as Project Cars. And see and really from the situation when you look at Project Cars, it was so simulated that they reverted to what Forza Horizon driving mechanics. It's to make it more appealing. So it just comes to show that like when you look overall, I mean, you know, I play all different types of racers, and so you could get a feel of what feels good, what feels like just when you're overstepping and trying to make it too realistic. And then like not everybody has stern wheels and things like that. Only just you know the real racing enthusiasts. Except you know I don't have a racing stern wheel. I need to get one since I like to play so many races. But it's still a positive thing, and you looked at it from that standpoint. But overall, back to the main point, it's EA coming and swooping and taking it in. That's a big win for them as well. I know that a lot of people have this disdain for EA, but I personally think that it's you know it's just starting into moving into that right direction of getting EA back on track from what people have been just alluding to EA for so many years.
It's
I
highway robbery, man. What are you talking about?
no, and also this is another thing that you know that trips me out is that how much collateral how much money in collateral that EA has over Take Two. Like you would think Take Two has all the money with NBA and now you know they got golf, they got all this, they got you know they got the number one selling video game of all time in Grand Theft Auto 5, and you have all of these other games that just you know that just hits. They got hit after hit after hit after hit, and then EA has all these other games that's had problems. You know, God bless Anthem. Can't wait for it to come back. 2.0. I'm waiting for you, baby. And
Oh,
and
2K
then,
real quick, yo. I
what?
mean, with Take Two, real quick. It's
Yeah.
funny because you're talking like NBA 2K and stuff like that. And
Hmm.
if EA didn't get exclusive rights to Madden, Take Two would, I would guarantee they would have pretty much like number one, the majority of sports games, like number one sports games
Yeah,
in titles. You know what
I
I
think
mean?
that's debatable because Take
Yeah.
Two they left the baseball scene because they thought that was like no, profitable for how much
I
their
said
series made.
majority. Yeah, I thought about baseball, but like basketball, football, even PGA Tour now with 2K21. Um, dude, I don't see any other like golf game, that has like that PGA ness and stuff like that. And EA
Woods
has
golf
FIFA.
was the Tiger Woods
Mhm.
golf was the standard, and then they went away from that. That's the point that I'm making. But go ahead, Bud. I'll let you finish what you want
Yeah,
to say.
no, it's like the irony that we're talking about these two companies. We're talking about Take Two and we're talking
Hmm.
about EA, that throughout the years, especially with Take Two and 2K and what they did with football back in the day when they made I forget which 2K NFL 2K, but they made it like $30 to compete with Madden and
Oh yeah, 2K15. Yeah, 2K.
there's a competition between these guys. You know what
2K5.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh no, definitely.
There's definitely. And it's funny how EA just comes in, swoops in. He's like, 1.2 bill, and they did it Randy Moss style.
Well, didn't
Straight cash, homie.
they do that same thing with BioWare, I believe, or was it Respawn?
Yeah. No, that was they just bought BioWare. Like they had the cash.
Yep.
And Respawn and there was a lot of people that wanted Xbox to get Respawn, but at that time Xbox was not in the buying market. Or I would bet money that if Respawn went up for sale around the time when Phil took over, that I think Xbox would have landed them. I really do. I think I think so, and I really think that maybe that's why the guy that Zappella took the shots at Microsoft, is because of the fact that there really didn't seem to be any interest, especially how well the game sold, how the first Titanfall sold on Xbox. So I think that there's a little bit more things that's going on in the background, because I know Zappella got ripped from the Xbox community from it, and part of it rightfully so. But then again, we don't know everything behind the scenes. But back to my point, so I can let Bot get to his point of view on it. I just think that EA is just trying to move back into the good graces of the community. It's going to take a while. It's going to take It's going to take some more hit games, more than just Jedi Fallen Order. But their racers has been, look, Need for Speed Heat was great. I like Need for Speed Heat. It was fantastic. Wasn't the biggest fan of the last one. And then also they brought that remaster, which I bought, of Need for Speed Hot Pursuit, but it's not a remaster. It's just a PC port, and it doesn't even have really the true physics and everything. I mean, it has the physics and everything, and it moves better, but it's not a true remake. I mean, it's actually just kind of seemed like a money grab a little bit. So for people out there, if you see that game out there and you want to get it, make sure you get it on sale. I bought it for the $40. Because I couldn't wait to get it, and I enjoy it. But graphically, when you look at it, it's not a remaster. I could have got better on my PC. But they need. They're trying to find something. They're trying to find the right driving studio to get them back on track with Need for Speed, to get them back on track with other games that they have the potential to bring out. And if you got Dirt, you got Need for Speed, you got this, because they when you look and think about all the racing space, there's a lot of racers out there, but there's only really 3 or 4 that really gets all the attention. And Need for Speed doesn't get that attention anymore. And it's really, what I'm saying, really, if you probably think about it, it's just 3. And right now, Forza is the top dog. Then you can look at GT, and and those two go back and forth in Project Cars. That's it. Now on the PC side,
Project Cars is also owned by Codemasters, so that will be part of the deal.
Exactly. That was going to be my other point. So they want to get back into space. So they want to bring those simulation racers back. They tried to do it with Need for Speed Sport. It didn't do very well. So it's smart business, on top of the fact that they can bring those games out there and get people signed on back into racing, and get Need for Speed back into the spot where they need to. So I think it's a great grab. I mean, it's bully ball. I mean, I didn't think EA I knew EA had pockets, but I didn't know that they could just say, look, man, all cash, here you go. Take 2. Sorry, holla at your boy. We gonna take these cats over here with us. So it's very important. I think it's a good step in the right direction for EA, in my opinion.
Yep. Now I will also say, before I go to you, Bot, I want to just bring this up. I know that a lot of people don't like it when EA is brought up in mentioning buying out a studio of any company, because I believe when Warner Brothers, or when that rumor was that Warner Brothers was selling off their gaming division and EA was part of it, everyone was scared about EA, because I think EA has that stigma of the executioner of game developers, since they've closed so many. But
check in the backyard. There's a bunch of tombstones. in EA's backyard, there are a bunch of tombstones there, bro.
Yep. And I think because of that, people are just scared in general if they try to buy a developer. But you think that will change, Bot? Do you think that people will, like, sooner or later, like, change their opinion? Or do you think that with this new direction that it seems like EA is actually doing some good graces in, like, with Rogue Squadron being like a small project for cheap, and also with what Respawn has been doing and not having monetized games?
I don't know. In terms of like the idea of EA being the developer killer, the studio killer or whatnot, I think it's gonna take it would take a change in mindset, change in direction when it comes to the people on top of EA. And when it comes to the topic that we're talking about here, when it comes to Codemasters, I just feel like, it's weird when it comes to EA and racers lately. All right, 360 they had Burnout Paradise, and people really like that, right? But if you look, it seems like EA has never really been. You look at the Need for Speed franchise, Rivals. They did their soft Need for Speed reboot this past generation, stuff like that. It seems like EA just really doesn't get it when it comes to racers, whether it's arcade, whether it's simulation, stuff like that. It seems like there are some things that these companies, these corporations will get. They'll find their niche for it, and and they'll run with it. To me, it just seems like EA doesn't get it. And another thing that further states that, in my opinion, is Need for Speed Heat, because Need for Speed Heat was finally going in a good, that game was putting Need for Speed in a good direction again. And what did they do?
They gave it to another developer.
They stopped supporting it and put another developer on it. Just when there were signs. Like it might not have sold the best or anything, but there were talks within the gaming community. There were talks within gamers with people like arcade racers and stuff like that. There was a certain momentum being built. It wasn't necessarily monetarily yet, but it was being built in terms of I guess you can say rep. It's like, oh, now they get it. All right, now they get it. This game is fire. All right, I can't wait to see like what else they're gonna come out, if they're gonna expand it with DLC, if it's gonna be free and stuff like that. And what do they do? Like, oh no, we're taking this developer off and we're not supporting this. Get ready for the next one. And to me, it's like they don't get it. Whereas when it comes to Take-Two, yes, I'm gonna look over at Rockstar, because Midnight Club LA was one of my favorite racing games, man.
And I'm glad I have some Midnight Club fans here, because that honestly was a franchise I like. I'm not really much into racers, but that was the game I played so much back on the PS2 days.
See, and the funny thing was, when it came to the other Midnight Clubs, Dub Edition, yeah, I definitely I played that a lot. I like having official cars. That's a thing that really gets me. So I like the gameplay of the original Midnight Clubs, and then with Dub Edition and the ones before that. But when they actually got the official licenses, and then move forward with Midnight Club LA, that's when they really got me. When you could customize the interior, you could put the sound system in. They had Rate My Ride, where you just put your car and your vinyl setup out there, and people would rate it. Now, granted, if you ever checked out Rate My Ride on Midnight Club LA, there was some really graphic vinyls that were made, but no, I really loved the Midnight Club LA and what they did with that. And then they just stopped making it after that. It was like I think they closed down the studio, and then it's like, yep, no Midnight Club. So I was really excited. I'm like, man, Codemasters can take over the Midnight Club and bring another one to the table. Now it would be no guarantee that it would have the same feel of like Midnight Club LA or anything, but just to hear that there's another Midnight Club in the works would get me excited, would get me interested. And again, when it comes to EA, they swoop in and they're like, again, Randy Moss straight cash, homie. And they come in here, and I just feel like that publisher doesn't get it. I just feel like and they're pretty forceful with their developers. Kind of, I would kind of put them almost in the same vein as Activision, and we all saw what Activision did with the Destiny franchise for the longest time, and how many people kind of rebelled against that, and the decisions that Bungie, the things that they had to put in the game, and how accessible they had to make it, and how they couldn't make it the game that they really wanted to. I kind of I put EA in that same category. I could be wrong, but I do put them there.
Now, I want to bring this up real quick. Now, I did.
Well, you're just harsh. I got so many things I want to counteract that, but I'll let you finish.
Now, I did bring this up to K Mega on Twitter back when you first brought up this news, and that's that. I don't know if this deal has been finalized yet, because there's no official statement, right? That it's like the deal is closed. But I think that Take-Two might try to fight back if they're aggressive enough, because they have been aggressive in expanding. They recently bought the Crackdown 2 developers, and I believe they're opening a new developer under their Take-Two brand, not Rockstar.
Mm-hmm.
So you think by any chance Take-Two could try to fight back and counter this purchase?
It depends. It depends on how much they want it. You know what I'm saying? Like, somebody swoops in and tries to take that dessert that you just got served on your table at the diner or whatever. It depends on how much you want it, and I mean, they can again Take-Two with the titles, the studios, and the success of titles that are under their belt, and the amount of revenue that they have gained. Especially when it comes to it comes to Rockstar with the shark cards. It comes to NBA 2K with the virtual currency and people buying that like year after year. They have a ton of money just sitting there, man. And if they want to fight back, I think they can. Like, but how badly do they want Codemasters? And I think it would be worth it for them to try to fight back, man. With the game franchises, the titles that are under Codemasters, you instantly get a stable of racing games by acquiring that studio. And you can take them and do whatever you want with them. You can create new games, new racing games with a quality racing game developers. So I mean, they could, but it's how bad do you want it, bro?
Yeah, and I think it seems like for the look of it right now that EA probably wants it more, seeing as they just like swooped in out of nowhere.
They have space for another Tombstone in their backyard, brother.
God, the thing is with Codemasters is they've been around for a long ass time. Like I don't know how exactly long, but I think originally some developers from PlayStation back on the PS2 days they came from Codemasters, so they have a pretty long history. So it'll be sad to see them shut down if EA does acquire them.
BioWare had a long history too.
Okay, so listen, this is the thing. I think you guys both
Mega
are
agrees
just
with
taking it.
everything I said,
No.
and let's move on.
No, this is. Do you know what EA reminds me of? Can anybody guess?
Liver on your dinner plate, which everybody hates.
Xbox. This
What?
is why. Yeah, no, this is why. Pay attention to this. All right, let's go through a little history.
Okay, interesting. Let's hear it.
Okay, so EA at its pinnacle, at its height, could do no wrong. You had Mass Effect, you had KOTOR, you had all these great games, all these great Dead Space, all these great games. Then they changed management. Then all of a sudden things just didn't happen, and then of course we get into the point of where they're trying to hit you over the head with microtransactions with Battlefront 2, because they seen that the first Battlefront was successful, and then they made other type of decisions that just didn't go well. Then of course the mix up with bring in Titanfall 2 with heavy hitters that they had right there with Call of Duty and Battlefield right there. Then they had another game, I forgot what. Oh yeah, it was Battlefront. It was the first Battlefront, and then it was Battlefield 1 that they had, and then they just squeezed into Titanfall 2, and it just, just a lot of just misdirection, a lot of missed opportunities. And of course, then they let go of the studio. They let go a couple of studios. BioWare just isn't the same after they got there, because a lot of people do forget that BioWare still made Dragon Age 4, and I mean Dragon Age, the last Dragon Age. I forget what the name of it is right now. And then that won Game of the Year. So I mean, BioWare is still prominent. But again, they had their misses. But this is where I'm saying where it all connects. Now they've made another direction. Looks like Vince Impella is now kind of calling the shots on things. Their management is being much more open, much more fluid. A lot of people that were there from certain points where at the worst part of EA's tenure has now gone. And even though the situation with BioWare is shaky because of who left, BioWare still has, we've seen that, a new Mass Effect sequel is coming. We got the remaster coming. We hear they're not giving up on Anthem. They're doing a 2.0 of that. And they also, and then, the rumors about Titanfall 3 and things like that. There's a bright future there. And that's why I say it reminds me so much of Xbox, because it seems like they're now just getting to that point when Phil Spencer first started taking over for Xbox. And then it came slow, and there were still some hits and misses. But now it's getting ready. We're starting to see the fruit of the labor that's been put in, and we're starting to see now these games are starting to come. The studios are being bought, all of that. And even though these things take time, I think this is where Codemasters belong, because of the fact that EA has the capital and is a huge company that needs better need a company that can make Need for Speed relevant, plus have their own division to where they have all these other races available. And they might even could bring back Burnout, which is another classic that a lot of people loved. So if you can bring your racing division and get it up to par and have all these different types of racers to be available with dirt and grid and
brother.
Hold on,
Brother,
I'll let you finish your point.
I was trying. Okay. My bad. I was trying to have a little back and forth with you.
Okay. Let's have the back and forth. Go ahead. Let me know. What you got?
No, because again, I gotta say, look at the latest iterations of Burnout Paradise. People thought it was okay, but the original Burnouts where they had the specific modes where they had the intersections and you're crashing your car and you were able to control the car chassis and bang it into other things. Those were the classics there. I just gotta say, to me, and I think there's other people out there, EA does not get it anymore when it comes to racing. The racing genre, because the latest iterations of everything we talk about, and then
EA though, or is that EA, or is that the developers that they have right now working on Need for Speed games?
I mean, they're studios though. They own them and everything like that, and they're the ones at the end of the day that signs it all off to say, okay, this is good. Yeah, no, yeah.
But have they not tried to improve on? Have they not tried to improve on Need? You just gave Heat a lot of props. You just told that.
To be fair, Heat was a huge improvement. So it's obvious that they are trying with some games.
Yeah. And then, like I said, how they don't get it. They got a huge improvement. They finally had some people talking about Need for Speed Heat, and they were gonna get a lot more customers as they supported that game, as they added more content and where they were going with that game. And what did they do? They shut down that studio, and they said they're not supporting that game. As soon as you saw that light at the end of the tunnel, they flicked the switch and shut the light off, man.
I don't think they shut down. I don't think they shut down the dev. I think they made them a support dev. Although,
right, they made them support dev, and then you go and what you do, you get Codemasters, and then you add those guys as the support guys to to Codemasters, you are set. Like, I mean, would you? Okay, just think about this for a second, Bot. Which developer is better? The people who made Need for Speed Heat or Codemasters?
I think Codemasters.
Okay, so therefore, when you look at that,
but
you know, there's no buts about it. You just
No, there is.
improve your
I didn't
racing.
even get the answer, bro.
Let's let him answer.
Okay, go ahead, answer, bro.
All right, what I'm gonna say here is Codemasters is a well-established studio, right?
Yes.
And they also have a certain style, whether it's arcade or simulation. There's a certain graphic style to them. There's a certain feel to their games, and I feel like there's no guarantee that Codemasters. I don't want them to completely Codemaster a Need for Speed. You see what I'm saying? Like I felt like there were differences there with how Codemaster games ran and how they felt, and then what Need for Speed Heat did with how that ran, how that felt, and what that brought to the table. So Codemasters is definitely has a more dense pedigree, okay, than I believe it was Ghost, right? Ghost did Heat, if I remember correctly.
I believe so.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So, yo, what is up, Red Hood? Good to see you in the chat, bro. But so, you know,
I'm supposed to be talking to the chat, man. This is my show. But yeah.
I love watching the chat.
But yeah, what's up, Red Hood? Thanks for stopping by, man. It's been a while. But back to what you were saying, Bot. Go ahead and finish your thoughts.
Yeah. Codemaster has a more dense pedigree, but in terms of just automatically saying better studio, I mean they've been together longer. They've made more games. They've honed their I guess you say their talents. You know what I'm saying? Where I feel like Ghost was just finally getting somewhere, and now they're gonna have to listen to another studio. Oh no, you do this. Oh no, you do this. Like
no,
man.
that's not what they're going to do. I'm telling you what they're going to do. This is you know what I'm saying. I mean, I can't say like I know I work at EA, but the vision, the vision that I have of where I think that they're trying to go with this, right? They want to get back into a place where they never really got with Need for Speed Shift and Need for Speed Pro Street. They were trying to get into that simulation spot. They're always known as, the arcade driver. So you get a studio in Codemasters that can deliver you a true simulator racer. And on top of that, you still got Cryoton. And then you go ahead and you can have both companies you can have EA have a huge division in the racing spectrum and actually compete against Gran Turismo and Forza. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's you know what I'm saying? That's exactly where they need. Where I think it's a better spot, because if you look at it, if you put it in turn 10, listen, or Take-Two, I should say, Take-Two and Activision and EA are probably the worst three companies when it comes to trying to hustle gamers. We all agree, right? Okay.
Oh yeah.
Which one out of those three though is the worst?
Activision.
It's not EA. It's not EA. It's not EA.
Activision. EA second.
No, hell no. Take-Two
EA
is
second.
no. Take-Two, no. Activision's first, Take-Two second, and then it's EA. Because if
that's a complete reverse of my take.
Okay. So let me break it down. Let me break it down why I got EA in third place. No, the wrestling game. The WWE games. The WWE games were so bad under Take-Two is that they went back to their original to the original people who started working on the wrestling games, because people were tired of their games being so broken. The last wrestling game was absolutely atrocious. I was going to pick it up, and then people was like, "No, it's awful. The microtransactions, everything like that." Look, everybody praises Grand Theft Auto for its feats, but it is a microtransaction machine. Everything that game does is a walking, talking, except for the story mode, microtransaction. Then you look, you know what I'm saying? Red Dead is Red Dead. They're trying to get the Red Dead Online in that direction. Now the Red Dead story, it's not. It's just it's just the game, and then it is what it is. But they are horrible when it comes to most of their games. I mean, just look at the golf game and all the microtransactions that you got to do and you got to get. They're awful. Activision is the worst. EA has came back from what they were doing because they were like, oh, if Activision could do this and they got this and we got that, we got Battlefield to go against COD, we can go ahead and do this with Battlefront, the license with, and then the gamers
look
came
what
after.
happened with Battlefront 2, bro. Come on, brother.
I know what I know what happened with it. If that's what I'm saying, they reverted back. But Take Two hasn't reverted back. NBA 2K has still got more microtransactions than it ever had. And you mean we love basketball, but we can't take away from what Take Two does. And it's just as bad as what Activision does. EA is at least regressing backwards. That's why I'm saying Codemasters have a better opportunity there at this new EA than with Take Two at this point in time. And yeah, if Take Two, and one point that you made here also, Bot, if Take Two couldn't give them full cash, and they was trying to invest them in stocks, I don't think that they could try to, come after him and say, well, we'll just go ahead and give you more money when they didn't have the money to offer him in the first place. You see what I'm saying? So I think that they're just going to let that dog die on the hill. Personally,
if I was Codemasters, like if they came back and offered money, I mean, let's be real. This is a business at the end of the day, and if you can get something worth value at a discount and you try it out, I mean, we're not talking about chump change here anyway. And then if you look at Take Two stock, when you look at the pedigree of games and the studios that are under that publisher, I mean, that's not really that bad to grab onto. The NBAs are going to keep pumping out. When Rockstar drops another game, that's going to be gold when it comes to stock. The stock's going to rise automatically, stuff like that. So, like that, I mean, it's not like we're talking about.
They have money, Bob, but obviously
stock over there. You know what I'm saying?
Overall, Codemasters had they wanted cash. They didn't want stocks. So
if they come back with money, without stock, I mean, I would use this as a bargaining chip and get with Codemasters and get the most out of the deal.
All right. I'll let Kimega finish. I'll let you Kimega finish off your thoughts, and then I want to transition to the next topic.
Okay. All right. Yeah, this is a great topic. Hey, man, I don't know, man. We gonna have to settle this some way.
We gotta get a show just me and you.
I think so. I was just thinking the same thing. Like, I mean, I think maybe some kind of way, because I mean, we got to settle this. But go ahead, man. That's all right.
All right. So is that all your guys' thoughts out of the way now?
Yeah. We'll let it go. We'll let it slide.
All right.
For now, we're gonna be nice. We're on your channel, bro.
We're on your show. Yes, we gotta respect the host, man.
All right. Well, I want to move on to talk about Cyberpunk now. I don't know how much time you guys have been playing, but I've been trying to play Cyberpunk as much as I can on my PC, and honestly, despite the bugs on my on the game and despite the performance of it currently on my PC, I honestly have been finding like the combat and the story pretty fun and addicting. Like, I want to play the game at 60 frames. Like, don't get me wrong, but this game is just like on a whole nother level. I don't know how to describe it. It's just like, it just gets you back invested into, like, it makes you want to come back to the world and play more of it, you know? And
no, I totally agree. So I don't know. You want to ask Bot about anything? Because I don't think Bot has the game yet. Do you have the game yet?
You ass.
Do you have the game, Bot?
Yeah.
Also, Red Hood seems to agree that you guys should do a show together.
Oh my god.
So hey, you guys got some supporters.
Yo, Red Hood, what you need to do, brother, right now, because we are having a blast and the conversation is flowing, man. Yo, share this out on social media. Let people know that we are going in. Let people know that they are missing out on a quality show.
And speaking about missing out, I just want to bring this up because I was just texting Ryan a few minutes ago that he's not going to be able to show up today, so that's a rip. But hey, at least I got to have fun with you guys. So
Absolutely.
Kind of weird. It's kind of weird that the Xbox guys show up. You know what I'm saying?
I know, to a PlayStation God's channel. Like I'm like, what's going on
Xbox
here?
guys might be a little more dependable. I'm just playing.
I mean, we buy more of the games. We support.
Okay, that's enough shade. That's enough shade. I don't need to lose subscribers.
Oh yeah, my bad. Yes, right. PlayStation's the best. Okay.
I'm messing with it, man. I haven't been able to talk to him in a while, so like it would have been good, yeah. He said, "Whoa, yo, Red Hood." But no, I don't have the game, but I was on Crossfire last Friday, and we had Jeff Grubb on, right? And Jeff was talking about certain things he said in his review. Now, I watched a bunch of reviews. I have interest in the game because I like the backdrop. I like the whole cyberpunk. I like the atmosphere, stuff like that. Reviews before Jeff Grubb, like when they were talking about, somebody compared it. A lot of RPGs, they compare them to like a tree. You know, the kind of like the thick trunk in the middle. That's the main story. And then as you progress, all of a sudden you get other branches that go off and stuff. And then they said with Cyberpunk, it's more like a bush. And so that means like right from the get-go, you can go over and talk to this random person over here, and it'll set you off on a path that way. Now, Jeff Grubb told me that the game tries to keep forcing you into the main story, like constantly. As soon as you hit a new part of the map, it's like whoever's over there controlling missions for that area, like they like instantly know that you're in that area, and they start calling you nonstop. If it's
practically that's always how it goes. Because from my experience, I when I do the main story missions and go to like a specific part of the city or another part of the map, like I will get another phone call for someone who hands out missions, and it's gone to the point where I have like 10 different people to like do missions for.
And they give you text as well. It's crazy. Yeah.
See, and I like that. Like I wanted to see that game that is more like that bush, and I thought what CD Projekt Red was making here. I kind of, everybody calls it RPG. I thought they were making more like a living world where, you have the main story. It might not be as long as people have wanted, but as you're like, you're going in, like you go to the club and you start talking to people, because the guy who did the review even stated that one of his like favorite missions, he was talking to another reviewer about it, and that dude never even came close to it, never even talked to the person that sparked that whole thing, that got that whole like mission started or whatnot. So I was really excited when I started hearing those reviews. And then Jeff Grubb was saying, well, no, they just constantly try to force you into the main story mission, and they're constantly calling you, and they're like, if it's like that, I'm a little more pulled back from the game.
I will say you do have options. Like, it's not like you're forced into it. Now, what they do is they do leave that opportunity to like go to the main objective, but you could also do like these side objectives like right when you go there, So it does give you some space to breathe.
Okay, because like, I heard people that are like, "Oh, this isn't revolutionary like they said it was," and I'm like, "Well, if they're making it like that living world."
I will be honest. They did like kind of hype it up to be like the biggest RPG, like where you can interact with everybody. And honestly, you can interact with the NPCs, but they won't talk to you really. Like you can say,
"Oh yeah, they'll cuss you out."
Yeah.
Yeah, like get away from me or something like. Or they'll say some wild stuff like, and you're kind of like, okay, I ain't even trying to talk to that person anyway. Yeah.
And honestly, with the side quest too, it doesn't seem like you get much choices that really change the world besides like the story choices. So it kind of falls apart in like that kind of aspect of the RPG.
Huh.
So I would more compare it to like something like Deus Ex, honestly.
I love. Oh man, what is it? Deus Ex Human Revolution on the 360. Dude, I spent hours in that game. Absolutely loved it, man. So if it's like that, then yeah, I still have an interest for it. Some of the gameplay I've seen, which is PC, because that's what CD Projekt Red decided that they were just going to show everybody high-end PC stuff. I mean, it all looked really good, man. And I don't know. I'm interested to hear what you guys have to say because you guys got hands on with the game and stuff. So I said my piece, man. I'm gonna sit
All
back
right.
and become.
All right, that's fair. But hopefully get the game soon and try it out for yourself.
Yeah, I hope
You know, I'm not too proud to beg. Let's just put it that way.
he's Xbot mooching, so that's it. That's people want to hook him up. Yay, I got it.
I did spend a lot of time on Crossfire, and I did learn mooching from the man himself. So
Yes.
So whoever's watching the show, if you guys feel like donating to Xbox, go ahead.
Aw. You're awesome, Callie. You're awesome, bro.
No problem, man. But let me get your thoughts on the game so far, K-Mega. I don't know how far you're into the game.
Be about like 12 hours in, but this is how I play my games. I get in, I'll start the story, get through the first couple of stories, get through the very first part of the the story missions that they want you to do, and then I just go out, and then I just try to see what I can do, how far I can do it, and just try to check out like how far how strong some people are that I can't mess with, so I can build up my character so I can get to a certain level so I can come back later and go go take that crew out or that little side mission out, and then I'll eventually go back into the game because I want to be high level when I'm playing the story, because I play it at a higher difficulty anyway. I don't play stuff on normal. I play it on the highest difficulty, highest difficulty or the next highest difficulty.
Damn, now I feel like a noob.
Oh no, no, that's no disrespect. No, it's just because to me, this is what I think about games like that. I want to get the best bang for my buck. If I'm going to play these type of games, I want to experience at a higher level of kind of like where the developers kind of want you at. If it's something that's like like when they have certain games like Doom, for instance, like they'll have normal and then they'll have like a couple of other tiers and then they'll have like extreme crazy level. I know that is for people who just are maniacs. I don't do that, but I do like the next level that's right there before the hardest level, or the hardest level, just kind of how like I start the game. And I don't know, for some reason I get a better sense of where the devs go with these with these big story games, because the challenges are a lot more intense, and I don't feel like when you play some games at easy or normal you get that because you just breeze through everything. And don't get me wrong, like I mean I could play there's games like, for instance, I wish there was a normal mode for Suikoden or however you say that game. That
Sekiro?
game is just Sekiro. It's ridiculous. It's crazy.
Hold on? How did you say that name?
Sekiro.
I'm sorry.
Let me be country, man. I don't care, man. Let me be country.
All right.
How you say it again?
Sekiro.
Now you got to put the tongue twist to it.
Listen, Congress and Senate. Oklahoma needs some funding for their public schools. Let's
Tap in here.
Right?
Look, bro. Listen.
I'm
You got crazy names. I'm not going to try to say them properly. I'll just say whatever I just need to say. I'll just, you know what I'm saying? That's how I look at it. Sekiro.
Just like you say Ghost of Sushi?
No, I say Ghost of Tsushima. I say Ghost of Toshima, but I know everybody says Ghost of Tsushima. And so I'm like, okay, Tsushima or whatever. So I say Ghost of Toshima. That's what I say. But regardless, it is. You know what game I'm talking about when I talk about it.
Yeah, I'm just asking you.
Shut up. Anyway, so but this is the thing too. All right, so
Congress.
yes, Oklahoma do need better education though. I definitely. I
Hey, you admit it.
Oh no, we do. Our education level out here is really not the best. But anyway, go ahead and we need to get that funny. But when you play in the game though, I like okay. I don't know if you found that one mission. I found it was hilarious. I recorded it I was thinking about like posting it on GRG, but did you run into the guy that had that had like he had some kind of penis in
Oh,
his
yep,
picture?
yep.
That was crazy, and he was like, I almost burned it. Oh my
Wait, wait,
god!
wait. When he texted, he wanted to get another one. I was like, what the fuck is he thinking?
Yeah. Like I'm like, what is wrong with you? But he did say when he called you back, he was like, man, I got to give me another one. But bro, like just running into crazy stuff like that, and then I ran into one side mission that kind of put me into like its own little mission where I had to kill these berserker guys. This one guy went berserk. He killed like all of these people, and he stuffed them in the back of behind this alleyway, and you had to fight him. He was fighting with he was high on that stuff or whatever. It was the guys that don't have a face and all that type. I forgot what they're called, but yeah, I ran into that mission, and then it took me to another mission. Then after I killed everybody, took their money, I went and bought me some clothes, and then I was like, all right, I'll go back to the hotel.
Man, I find it's hard. I find it's hard to get money into the game.
Man,
Just like,
oh, bro, you take out some of them nomads, man. You take their bread, like you just they got money everywhere in that game.
what?
And then go ahead.
I just want to say, what's up, Blaze? Thanks for stopping by, and I like how he comments. Look at these bots, and then it's Sony.
Look at that. Oh my god. Anyway, I forgot we're in the danger zone, bot. Xbot, we in the danger zone, brother.
Yo, why Blaze calling Callie a bot, man? That's crazy.
Oh my man, my goodness. Hey, that's the only ones that's dependable tonight, brother. That's the problem.
I tried getting Ryan on Blaze, but he couldn't make it. So I'm the only PlayStation dude on. So whatever.
Oh man, but what's up, Blaze? I had a lot of fun with talking to you guys out there on Bitcom's channel, man.
Did you just call him Bitcom?
I do say Bitcom, BitCloud. I don't know what's the deal. I always do that. BitCloud. I want to say Bitcom so bad because I'm thinking of Bitcom, the money, the currency, but it's BitCloud. My bad. I always do that.
Biden signed an executive order for educational funding.
Stop it. Anyway, Oklahoma, we doing it big though. Anyway, so overall, I think the game is amazing. Now, what the problem is, of course, is where the CD Projekt Red lied, and the game is just not. It's just not. I don't know because I'm playing it on the Series X. Plays fine there. There's just a few normal bugs that I experience when, just like I play any other game that has bugs, and it's not something that's groundbreaking or my game is froze or anything like that. And I played like 5 to 6 hours in, and I seen my very first bug where somebody was. There was a bum supposed to be laying on the street, but he was levitating. And that's me just walking around. I'm not driving places. I'm just walking around through the city, and I just came upon that random situation. But CD Projekt Red needs to be held accountable for not having the Xbox One version and the PS4 version up to snuff.
You know what? That's a perfect transition. So I want to get into that.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about my experience with the PC, also in regards to the bugs and.
I love how he says PC all hard. So I just want to give my experience. PC.
Well, because I play mostly on it now, so I want to experience it on there instead of the PS5. Because I didn't think the console versions would be that great, to be honest.
Oh, they're good, man. I've showed those pictures of it, and I showed like gameplay of me actually playing it. It looks amazing. That's what I'm saying. Like,
it looks amazing, but it's just like the bugs, though. The bugs in the.
But it's not a lot of bugs on the. That's what I'm saying. On the Series X and the PlayStation 5, I just don't. I don't know because I don't.
That's what I've been hearing. That's what I've been hearing is that there are no bugs, but when it comes to the PC experience, I've been experiencing some bugs. Like I don't know, if you've had this issue, but when I pulled up the scanner one time, you know how like it's kind of like all red in the background when you try to like scan people or objects.
Yeah.
When I exit out of it, everything was still red around me. So
I haven't had that.
I couldn't get rid of it, so I had to reload a save. And then also, there's been some weird glitches with like Keanu Reeves. Whenever he smokes a cigarette, he'll just leave them floating in the air for me.
Oh no, I haven't seen that yet. I haven't seen that part yet. No, I think like it's just everybody's experience is different, and I don't want to knock anybody's experience because mine hasn't been as tragic. So that's why I say, like, CD Projekt Red should be held accountable. But I look at this scrutiny as ridiculous because there are so many other games that I've seen and people don't talk about it as much. Like Miles Morales. I seen a thug slap the shit out of Miles, and he turned into putty. Like, bro, that it's funny. Yes, it's hilarious, but it's a bug. I've seen him, and I got the game. I got Miles Morales, and he goes through buildings. He goes through tree limbs. He does this. Yeah,
I got the game.
yeah, I got the game, so I know about the bugs. I see them, but is it groundbreaking? Is it breaking? No. Is it? But you know what I'm saying? And like,
It is groundbreaking. It is groundbreaking on the PlayStation 4, though, from what I've been seeing.
Well, in the sense, well, I should say game breaking, where it just like locks up, and I haven't had no problems with the game locking up or freaking out on my PlayStation, but it's still buggy, and that's the thing to me is like people need to hold these games to if you're going to have that same energy for 2020 for Cyberpunk 2077, you better have that same energy for Demon Souls, for Miles Morales, for the same energy that for Xbox fans who, for me, who support Crackdown 3, the story, but I'd be damned if I support the multiplayer because it was broken and they tried to fix it too late and now it's dead. Those are the things, the games that should be everybody down the board. If you don't like bugs, if you don't like things to glitch out or be messed up, then you need to have that same consistency with every other game out there. It doesn't matter which platform it's on, but you have to have that same energy. And I don't see it, and it irks me because it's like, oh, media, you see this situation with this certain game, but yet now with this certain game, it's a different story. I don't get this. It makes it to me it just makes me less trustworthy for the media and for a lot of other people out here.
To be fair, a lot of the reviewers did say that there were lots of bugs, but they said the game itself would be like you would still play through it no matter despite the bugs.
Yeah, no, you're right.
I see what you're bringing up though, because the media like the review, like these companies have like attacked games like of course like Fallout 76, Anthem, and also I believe the recent one was the Avengers game, which was all buggy too.
Oh yeah.
It's like they kind of pick and choose their battles because like they hardly complain for the bugs regarding like the PS4, but I'll get into that in a little bit because that's something else I want to talk about. But one thing that also kind of it kind of bugs me right now is that like with the game regarding the game on PC is just that it's just like they have the recommended specs on Steam. Like they'll tell you what you need to play it, and they'll have the minimum for like how what you need to actually run the game. And I have everything like at like low. I had everything on low settings, and I was still not able to get like 60 FPS or like close to around it. It would always drop to like 42 FPS for me. So I kind of
I heard it's really demanding on PC. I hear it's really
problems, brother.
I hear it's really demanding.
Yeah, and honestly, from the Steam requirements, I kind of feel like I was lied to. So, but moving on from that, I wanted to go into, of course, the actual lie, which was them lying about the PS4 version and not handing the PS4 version out to reviewers. Do you guys think that they messed up on that? Because that seemed to have imploded on them. Like any good graces they had, a lot of places.
Real quick, I just wanted to talk about the bug situation real quick, because K Mega he went on, man. He got up on his soapbox and he talked about being fair and all that stuff. Now, me and Fun Speculation, we actually did a live stream today,
and I watched that.
And then I appreciate it, brother. Definitely do. Now, one of the things that Fun Speculation, aka Mav, brought up was, Cyberpunk is a last gen game. It was delayed all the way up until here, but there was even a limited edition Xbox One X. It was originally it's a last gen game that is through backwards compatibility can run on the more powerful hardware. So the stuff that's going on on like the PS4 and the Xbox One in terms of performance and stuff like that is pretty much uncalled for. Let's be real. That was the main platform that they were building this game on. It's like they thought to themselves at a certain point in time in development and putting this together. We're having these performance issues right now on these on the PS4 on the Xbox One. They're like, you know what? Maybe we should delay this out, and maybe the hype will be all over the Series X and the PS5.
You see the thing with me is though I've never saw it as like they promoted it like specifically for console, because all the times we saw it, it was always PC gameplay from what they showed. So I think
They apologized for that. So
yeah.
They,
But I think what ended up happening was they tried to push too much on PC, and since they tried to release, since that was practically all their eggs in one basket for the PC version, of course they went all out for that. But I think that ended up hurting the console version, since they had to downgrade it a bit on the console with like the lack of NPCs on the streets. I don't know if you've seen the PS4; it just looks empty.
Yo, K Mega, I gotta say, like, I haven't like physically talked to our brother Callie in a while, but K Mega, do you get that hint, that aroma of PCMR tonight when it comes down to it? It's like, oh, they had to do so much work on PC, and they just kind of they didn't do so much work.
I've always been PC first.
Consoles,
a little bit, but I mean,
it's a little heavy tonight, though, bro. It's a little heavy.
But that's where their toast was buttered. That's where CD Projekt Red toast was buttered, was on the PC. Witcher 1, Witcher 2 was what made the PC Master Race made CD Projekt Red. And then Xbox came in because they were affiliated, because of Microsoft and PC, came in and was the first ones to introduce 360 gamers to the Witcher with Witcher 2. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? So I can see why PC would get the love first. I mean, I think you'll get that with like Ark and other games, PUBG, a ton of other games that's kind of like coming over. Warframe, all these other games that's been primarily these devs got started on PC, where they got love for consoles, but
and not to
PC
mention
was where first love, though.
It's not to mention that also CD Projekt Red also owns their own store that competes against Steam.
Right.
GOG or
COG, GOG, yeah.
Yep. So of course it makes sense that would be where they put all their like efforts into, and that's why they gave the PC games out to like reviewers.
And you can get the Witcher, collector's edition, or not collectors, but complete edition on GOG. I got it. I picked it up. You can get it for free. That's it. So go ahead and pick it up, guys. Right there.
But what I'm saying here, like, I hear what K Mega's saying. The bugs that are in Miles Morales. And that's a game that it's built on the framework of a PS4 game when it comes to the original Spider-Man. But it definitely caters to the new hardware. Demon Souls is not even on PS4 or anything like that. So that is strictly the more powerful hardware game. This game, Cyberpunk, was supposed to be an Xbox One and PS4 game. So the performance on those consoles should be a lot better than what it is right now. And I feel that they did come out with the apology letter and such, but to me, at least in this respect, in this situation, like they don't get a pass from me on this, because they were building this game for last gen hardware. And K Mega, it's not because I am rocking the Xbox One VCR either. That's not. I'm not championing for the lower denominator here, because I am rocking the fat boy Xbox One right now. But like this is what they were supposed to be developing for main platform. That should perform well. I'm not saying that there shouldn't be bugs or anything like that, but there should have been a lot of attention to detail when it came to this game running on the PS4 and Xbox One. Let's be real. No excuses about it. Come on.
Nope. And I think it's kind of funny that the time they put out the apology, it's like right after their stock started dropping, and
Like, oh shit. Oops.
and people were starting to call them out for the.
Well,
I believe
that's
it was
with
their.
everything.
I believe no. I believe it
That's
was
with
their,
everything.
no. But there was also another situation that was happening regarding their review bonus, where they weren't gonna give bonuses if the game didn't review well. But since the game ended up reviewing well, the developers did get the bonus, and I guess they recently came out and said that they're no longer gonna do that.
With every game. I mean, that's the one thing about it where, I mean, there's always those clauses in contracts with developers about bonuses and things like that, and of course with the stock price. Listen, this is the overall situation. The problem was, and I said this in a video earlier today, is that what CD Projekt Red should have done is kind of like what a lot of companies did with the like the 360 and the PlayStation 3. You have another studio work on that game for the older hardware, and you just primarily focus on PC and the new hardware. That's what they should have done. But again, I don't know what kind of budget that they were working on. Obviously the game's budget was big, and they probably wanted every little coin that they could probably get out of it, and because of greed, they just was decided that, well, we can do everything, and not maybe realizing that they're making this game for a whole bunch of platforms. You know what I'm saying? They're not only putting it on PC, but they're putting it on 4 different, they're putting it on the Xbox One, they're putting it on the Xbox One S, they're putting it on the Xbox One X, they're putting it on the Series S, they're putting it on the Series X, they're putting it on the PlayStation 4 just regular, PlayStation 4 Slim, PlayStation 4 Pro, and the PlayStation 5, which the other one without the disc doesn't really matter, so that's 4. Then you have Stadia, and then you have Luna. You know what I'm saying? So and then you know what I'm saying? So there are so many different places where they got to make for that game, and that's what we're seeing with a whole bunch of this other stuff where people are getting into this whole point of which game performs better from this aspect or whatever from looking for Digital Foundry. It's that these devs are spread thin with of making their games on these on all of these platforms. So CD Projekt Red just had more that they could chew, and the evidence was in the pudding. They know that they had to get it right for PC, because you don't want to piss off the PC master race. And you don't want to make and you don't want the new adopters of these new consoles to be pissed off, especially spending $500. Oh
no, definitely.
Plus, yeah, and so the people at the bottom, which it's not no disrespect. That's just the way it is. It's that they.
You talk
I'm
about
not saying I'm not. Listen, this is the reason why they're okay.
It's an Xbox One that was Cyberpunk.
I got you on that, but you see what I'm saying? I'm not saying that people are cheap who still got the older consoles. That's not what I say. I still got my Xbox One X. I got nothing. I'm not saying that in a dick way. I'm saying it
can you
from
ship that over to my house, bro? Can you?
My wife she's controlled it now. She's
I'll give her CDPR, brother.
you give us that?
That's a downgrade.
Yeah. I don't know. That Tetris might not look good, or Peggle might not look good to her for that. But regardless, anyway. But that's the thing right there. I think that they just, instead of them investing in getting another studio to work on the last gen version of Cyberpunk, they went ahead and tried to think that they could do it all on their own. And as you can see, they thought maybe, well, they could skate it through. They probably wouldn't thinking about like the pandemic would be causing all this, and it just backfired in their face. And they should get, they should get lit up for it, because they know that they got caught lying. And I don't have a problem with them getting their feet put to the fire. It's just as like I was saying earlier, is that I think that if we're going to all be about this whole situation where people jumping on games with bugs and having problems, then we need to be consistent about every game, not just this particular game, or pick and choose just for fanboy purposes.
Dude, now when it comes to bugs and glitches, guys, just real quick, like and I know some games are going to be worse than others. You know, we talked about Avengers. You got Cyberpunk. You could go down on the list. Fallout 76 was horrible at launch. You know, and so you have these big, you know, these games that are prone to bigger bugs. But I also think this is um, what I call the x86 effect, and we saw it developing more and more in, you know, beginning last generation with the PS4 and Xbox One, that developers will release their games in a more buggier state, because with, you know, the systems, the consoles being x86 architecture, same way, you know, PC and stuff like that, they can send out patches and updates. I remember that was a big thing in 2013 with the start of the Xbox One PS4 generation, where developers are like, "Oh yeah, now we can update your game," and they're touting it as like a marketing thing for that generation, and how you know, patches can come out, how content can drop more like easily, and all that good stuff. And there's always a downside to that. Like when you hear marketing speak and they're talking about something, there is always a downside, and I think we've seen the evolution of the downside where and I'm not saying all developers do this, but there are development studios that will put out a buggier game knowing that they can release patches over time, and you know, with doing that, kind of rake in revenue at a longer base. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and
And
live service games have been doing that too. Like Warframe, whenever they release an update and their bugs, they'll just keep releasing patches, and it's just I've seen that happen with GTA 2. They'll release an update, then there'll be bugs, then they'll patch those bugs, etc., etc. So yeah, it's nothing new.
dude, I see this with Destiny 2 all the time, where a bug will make a certain weapon with a certain subclass like completely OP in like Crucible and PvP stuff like that, and they'll have to either shut off the weapon and create a patch, or like they have to update Destiny 2. And of course Destiny 2 is kind of like a progressing game. You know, it's meant for content to be added and stuff, and they're always trying to keep the balance when it comes to PvP and stuff. But I see it all the time in Destiny 2, man. They're constantly patching things, you know, and fixing things that other content that they put in has broken, and stuff like that. But it is the x86 effect, guys. You know,
That's an interesting theory, but hey, I mean, you could be onto something, but I don't know. So
since you don't know, you need to agree with me 100%.
hey, I'm not putting the gas. I'm not putting my foot on the gas pedal yet. So I'll just hold on to that theory.
Hashtag Xbot is right.
But
Okay, there you go.
you know, with I want to go back to something K-Mega said about how CD Projekt Red were just stretched to the end. You know, at least they didn't work on a Switch port of Cyberpunk. I'm just curious how that would have turned out, to be honest.
I mean, no, I don't think anybody would have cared because the game would have been, you know,
Yeah.
it was playable on Switch. You know, Switch gamers would have got it regardless. I mean,
Yeah. But all right, so now I guess we're done with this topic. So let's talk about the Game Awards. What do you guys say? I bet you guys liked some of the announcements that came out of the Game Awards show, right? Like with Perfect Dark, Arc 2. What are some of the other stuff that they announced?
By you guys, sir. What
Well-
do you mean by you guys, huh?
Well, K Mega and you, Bot, because you guys play Xbox primarily, right?
I guess I'll go first on this one. No, I thought the award. This was one of the better award shows overall. In my opinion, it was fast paced. They knocked a lot of stuff out. The one thing that I have a problem with the gaming awards is how they treat sports games and how they treat racers. I think it's garbage. Both should be separated. You know, if you're gonna make
Wasn't Rocket League nominated under sports?
Yes, yeah, like they
that was the
combined
first
them
year
over.
they did it too.
Yeah, and I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Those devs work just as hard to make good quality content, because I mean, I don't care what some people who don't like sports games feel about it. because to me it's irrelevant. If you don't like those, if you don't play those games, how can you keep trying to tell me, well, this game is the same thing as just a rehash skin? If you don't play these games, then don't talk to me, because if you played NBA 2K20 this year and then you played the next gen game, you know that there's a huge difference, and even there's a difference in Madden as well. So they put the effort in. It's so in FIFA, and then you got UFC, you have all these other games that's available in the sports, like and even golf. PGA is actually damn good. So I think there's a lot of games that should get a lot of credit and should have opportunities in the sports gen and also racer category. But overall, other than that, I thought like the announcements was really good. Bound for Blood was, or Back for Blood was, that was my jam right there. I was so excited because I thought it was Left 4 Dead, but
That was a surprise right there.
yeah, I was so hyped for that. And then of course Crimson Desert. I've been watching that game for a long time.
That game looked amazing.
Yes, it's and I know that people are trying to, well, they're the makers of Black Desert and all that. It doesn't matter. This looks like this is a single player.
I don't think it's single player. I think it's going to be another MMO. I really think that.
Well, I think it is going to be an MMO, but I think that they kind of fixed this single player aspect of it. You see what I'm saying? Like I don't think it's, because Black Desert, it's good. It's just that their navigation on where you're trying to go, trying to get to your next quest, is just awful.
FC had another issue. I was on his show and he was reacting to the show, and his biggest problem was the grind. It's just so grindy on that game.
Yeah, it is very grindy. It is grindy, but it's an older game too. So it looks like they've, and then they're also Pearl. Pearl something? I forgot the name of the studio, but they're working on a shooter MMO, which looks really good too. So. I'm looking, but I am looking forward to Black Desert. I'm not really big into the scary games anymore, but I will have to say that the one game that was made from the people who made Dead Space looked really good. Yeah, Calypso looked really good.
I completely forgot about that game actually.
Yeah, Ark. Listen,
that didn't mean so. Appearance like surprised the hell out of me.
Okay, so check this out, right? I really thought, I was like, yo, I said, I bet not hear any Xbox fan try to slander what Horizon Forbidden West is doing, because they got Vin Diesel. Because I thought it was
I was making fun of it, saying that this is like prehistoric Fast and Furious right here.
Oh man, I was like, damn. I said, AOA got Vin Diesel on our team now, because I thought that's exactly what I thought the game was. I was like, I can't even front. I'm like, damn, Sony knocked it out the park with that one. But then when it came to be Ark, I was like, what? I'm like, okay, all right, that was really dope. So, I'm not knocking
Ark, Jordan. I'm not knocking Ark. I actually have the game. But I'm just saying that new Ark 2.
It looked.
Sarcasm exposed me a super chat because I actually called it. I was joking. I was completely joking, right? But I called it. And then when you saw them in the cave, and the chick picked up her arm, and you saw the diamond in her arm, even though it doesn't, it's a different look than Ark 1, but it's still like that diamond there. That right there, it's like, yo, really?
I want to say though, I know Studio Wildcards' development process, and they're seeing Ark, how it was buggy when it first came out.
Oh, it was awful.
Yeah. No, it wasn't just a little bit. There was like, it was awful with screen tearing.
Oh.
My apologies. That was supposed to be thick sarcasm right there.
Oh. Well, he certainly got me right there. But man, I kind of like to look at this one, but I want to see some gameplay first before I even get hyped for it.
Thank you. And that's something right there, Callie, because that's why I say Back for Blood really, really kind of stole the show for me, because
that's the one. That's the one from Turtle Rock, right?
Yes.
That looks so fun. It looked like a new modern Left 4 Dead game.
Well, that's exactly what it basically is, and the reason why it it did that for me is because everything, people are talking about Calypso, people are talking about the Perfect Dark trailer, people are talking about even the Mass Effect will continue trailer, you know what I'm saying? And all those are well and good. All those, are perfectly fine. There was hypeness there, all that good stuff. But Back for Blood showed pre-alpha gameplay, and when you saw the pre-alpha gameplay, it did not look like pre-alpha. Like, it already looked crisp and clear. Like, I know people on the panel, because we did a live reaction. I know people on the panel, because I'm not a big Left 4 Dead guy personally, but I know people were ready to play that like right then and there. And if it released looking the way it did that they showed, I think people would be fine with that. To be really honest with
I know,
you, man.
definitely. And I think the Left 4 Dead people are hungry for a new game because apparently Valve doesn't know how to count to 3.
No.
This kind of just made it clear that Valve was just not going to do that game. Was not going to do Left 4 Dead again.
Yeah, so at least someone had to do it.
Right, and I'm stoked for it. Other than that, there was other games too, but I just can't think of a lot of them right now.
And honestly, I think I would have been more hyped for Perfect Dark if it wasn't the fact that a lot of people were like reporting on rumors that that's what they were developing.
Okay, see that's the thing that trips me out, right? Okay, so we've been knowing rumors about certain games that's coming out from the PlayStation side, and when it comes out, okay, so let's say for instance PT, right? Okay, we've been hearing rumors that Kojima's going to be working on a PT, right? And or Silent Hill or something like that, or whatever. And then when they show it, the hype level is going to be the same. Even though it's been talked about, it's been rumored for 2 years. And now we hear the rumors about like there's going to be a remake of Metal Gear Solid.
Yep.
So the thing to me is kind of like, can we just let gamers be happy? You know what I'm saying? For something, I mean, we have been talking about certain games that we've been expecting, and just to see that Xbox fulfilled the promise of bringing, an IP back that a lot of people's been asking for, and then having the new team, the
Initiative.
the initiative do it. I mean, come on, let us be happy. You know what I'm saying? I'm every time I see a PlayStation fan get happy when they saw, another clip from The Last of Us 2 or whatever. I'm like, congratulations! Y'all get y'all's game back. It looks great. Blah 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? I think that like some people just kind of just want to clout chase and just want to be just assholes just to be that way. And I just think like just let gamers be excited for games. Doesn't matter if you heard a rumor 10 years ago or what. I mean, I think if a KOTOR came out, we've been hearing rumors about KOTOR coming. If KOTOR was going to come back, Knights of the Old Republic, for those who didn't know what that was, came out, I guarantee you the internet would blow the fuck up. So
I still have my doubts about that. I have my complete doubts about that.
Let us be happy. Let's let it be happy for the games that are coming.
When it comes to KOTOR, let's be real. The Perfect Dark franchise is a love franchise, right? Mm-hmm. But Knights of the Old Republic, there's that stretches beyond Xbox. That game got people to look at Xbox as well when Knights of the Old Republic came out. Now, when it comes to Perfect Dark, and I can understand like Xbox dudes being hyped about that, regardless of but just the announcement that be excited about that. But I also feel like that name doesn't have a standing to the newer gamers out there. I think the newer gamers know the name, but they don't know the game. You see what I'm saying? And what I think is going to happen here, because I see the hype there for the Xbox guys when it comes to Perfect Dark, and I know everybody on the panel for the live reaction, they were excited about it, all that good stuff. I think that to stretch it beyond kind of like the Xbox gamer is when they show the gameplay. If the gameplay is going to be fire, like the name of the game has has a ring. The younger gamers, they know the name, but like I said, they don't know the game. Now when they do come out and show like early gameplay or something like that, and if that the gameplay is fired, then I think you're going to see that hype level build up even toward away from Xbox gamers. Other gamers are going to start looking towards Xbox and what's going on over there, and they're going to start looking at Perfect Dark like, damn, what is this about? And they're going to start getting into it then. So I think it was a good reveal, and it was a really good reveal for Xbox gamers. But I think the hype will increase if they show gameplay and gameplay is fire. That's going to go nuts.
The gameplay always captures people, but I see Christopher Hart stopping by in the chat real quick. So,
Lord, here
shout out to Christopher Hart for stopping by.
Shout out to Christopher, man.
He's one of my favorite moderators, bro.
Oh my goodness. Anyway, and one of my last points on it is another thing that I was upset about. Well, I shouldn't say upset, but one thing that I look at it was the snub of Ori in the game of the year. Because look, I got Hades. Hades is a really good game, but Ori is just it's just special.
You know. Speaking about Ori, I think I might make you proud. I just recently bought it, the new Ori game.
Really?
Have you played it yet?
No, I haven't played it. I just recently got it yesterday.
Hold on. Ori 1 or Ori 2?
Ori 2. I got Ori 1 on my Switch.
All right. Did you play and beat the original Ori?
Not yet. I just I don't know what level I am because I haven't been playing my Switch because of Joy-Con drift recently.
Oh no! Dude, I hate to say it, like Ori 2, you can play it like standalone. You know what I'm saying? But the story is a connection between 1 and 2.
I know, and I haven't seen any of the story really. I've only seen a few of a few beginning clips of like Ori 1. I've been meaning to finish it, but it's just like I can't play it because my controls are just acting up. But
if you had an Xbox, you could invest a small amount of money in
no. I play all the platformers and rogue games, like roguelike games, on my Switch. That's a must be for me because I might buy some like on PC, like Binding of Isaac, but like most of my indie games are on my Switch. Yeah.
Okay. And look what happened with that, man. Now you're dealing with drift.
Damn.
I played my Xbox One X so much that my Southbridge chip overheated, and that's why my One X no longer works anymore. So, it is what it is, man. You put that mileage in.
Yeah. But
certain components start wearing, bro.
But let me just finish my thoughts on the show overall, and then I think we'll go to the last topic. So I thought the show. Okay.
Last point. Yeah, no, that's all good. It's all right. I just wanted to say, I felt that Ori got snubbed in the Game of the Year awards, even though I knew it wasn't going to win. I knew it was a 2-game race. Listen, the one thing to me also is that, listen, you can't say that it's a video game awards for the gamers, and then the gamers vote, and they vote for Ghost of Tsushima or Tsushima, and Last of Us win. Now, listen, we all knew, like I said, it was a 2-game race. It doesn't matter. And congratulations to Naughty Dog and them for winning. It is what it is. But I felt personally, from my thoughts, that Ghost of Tsushima was just the best game of 2020.
No, definitely same here. Honestly, when Last of Us 2.
Now we playing Cyberpunk, and then also now I'm starting Valhalla. I don't know, but
Valhalla can go in a river and die.
Really? How far are you in Valhalla?
I'm not playing Valhalla. I refuse to play the new Assassin's Creed games for what they did to Syndicate. I'm so bitter. I'm so bitter at Ubisoft for that. I refuse to buy a new game because of that.
Oh my God, the new. See, look, I am not the old traditional.
No. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. The gameplay of the new Assassin's Creed looks fun. It looks fine, but the story is absolutely garbage for how they've been treating the series.
Are you kidding me?
Yes.
The story has been it's been fantastic.
No.
I bought all of the Assassin's Creeds now, just because of Assassin's Creed Origins. That's what made it hooked me, because I've never been a fan of Assassin's Creed, and so I was like,
Okay,
Yeah,
at least I have
played
some. At least I have someone in the chat who has a brain. Because
No, Bob will agree with you. No.
I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm
No, I
joking.
got you. No, Bot will agree with you. Bot likes the old style of Assassin's Creed.
It's not even the. It's not even the style. It's just the story and the lore in Assassin's Creed.
They have to go past
Watered down.
No, it's not watered down. It's
Yes,
more
it is.
expansive.
They went they went
no.
to the RPG route just because that's the most popular thing ever since Witcher came out.
But it works. It's so good. Like, man, I'm telling you, the story of Bayek.
It worked. Okay, RPG. Okay, it can work for any game.
The original Assassin's Creed, the ones who started the Assassin's Creed, Bayek and his wife. That shit was epic, and then with the settings, everything was beautiful, and I love the way that the story tears off to where everybody has to. Good night, baby. All right. You know what I'm saying? I'll go in there. My wife just walked past. She's like, "Oh Lord, he's still on the podcast."
We heard the change in tone and everything. He's like,
Yeah, I'm not you know, so I can't be hype on my wife. Like, what up? Because she's gonna be like, what the fuck are you doing? I'm like, oh shit, all right. Anyway. No, this is the thing, right? It's the story based and everything, and then how like the new challenge of where the chick that's got the new technology that she stole from the original place where they had Exios, wherever that Spanish dude and all that other stuff at, where that place, right? You know, when you get into the real world, like she took it, she went into a cave. She's experimenting. She's like, I got the DNA, and now I can go and I can search all the bloodlines from all of history from these different people who started, and that is perfect, boy.
Okay.
It's amazing. And
if you played Syndicate, you know where it would have went, and it would have been even better.
I got Syndicate, but I haven't finished it yet.
Exactly. So you can't talk right now.
Okay. All right, but anyway, okay, all right, that's fine. But okay, but my last point on this, I'm just saying that I thought that Ghost of Tsushima was an extraordinary game. It was absolutely phenomenal. It's up there with one of my favorite PlayStation 4 games of all of this generation. It is, man, the setting, the music, the story, everything about the go. You know what I'm saying? And to me, why I feel that Naughty Dog won and Sucker Punch didn't is because Sucker Punch did something that were new to the game, and Naughty Dog has been doing. I think they kind of they gave that. Well, you know what? You're still a rookie. You need to learn first. You know, we're going to give it to the vet. So when you come out with your second game, then we can give you more praise, which I think is bullshit because I thought that Ghost of Tsushima laid a better storyline, was more compelling than what The Last of Us gave us. And I've made that point a million times about how I feel about The Last of Us. I mean, it's a great game, but I just like, man, you just don't do your main, not in the second game. In 3, yes, but 2,
K-Mega.
Oh my God. Okay, I'm done.
K-Mega, yeah, come on, man. Yo, well, K-Mega and Callie, I think the thing here with Game of the Year is we need a kind of like a more clear detail on what makes a Game of the Year when it comes to this awards. Because I remember a few years ago, it was Overwatch, right?
Yep.
And Overwatch, when it came out, it didn't have it didn't have a lot of content, right? But
but it exploded for popularity.
Yeah, but okay, there you go. Now, when it comes to The Last of Us Part 2, sales were crazy, right? Reviews were
mixed.
Were crazy. Yeah. And then when you look at and I believe K-Mega pointed out the user score on Metacritic, that's where you started seeing like a big dip. And there is a big part of the Last of Us community that wasn't actually happy with the game. Now, are we talking on a technical standpoint? Are we talking about on artist direction? Is popularity a part of it as well? Because if popularity is a part of it as well, it looks like Ghosts, man. Ghosts really took off for a new game, that came out. Not a sequel or anything to a franchise. And for that to come out and have an impact in the community that it did, that to me says a lot. And when you add all these things together, yes, there's a lot of artistry in The Last of Us Part Two. There are things there that make people think. There are things that they have you decide to do that you don't want to make the decision on. I get all that, right? But we need to know what the parameters are when it comes to the game of the year, because you go back and you look at, like I said, a few years ago with Overwatch, the artistry was more graphic based than anything else. There wasn't too much of a story. There is a backdrop story to Overwatch, and I don't know how many people actually do know it or whatnot.
The fan base mostly follows that.
Yeah, so it's basically the anti Last of Us Part 2, but it won Game of the Year because of its popularity and its gameplay mechanics. Now, when it comes to gameplay mechanics, like what they did with the kind of like predictive animations, stuff like that in The Last of Us 2 was really good. Really good, man. And when it comes down to it, the graphics, you got to admit, the game was incredibly pretty.
Oh no, definitely.
But Ghost of Tsushima was pretty in its own right as well.
I think Ghost of Tsushima had a better art style in general.
There you go. So I think we need a more definitive.
I think the problem with the award shows is that they're always biased. Like they're never based on like fans and what they think should win.
Yeah, and I think if you're gonna, I think like the fan base and kind of like the popularity of the game should definitely have something to do with Game of the Year, because I think it needs to all be rounded up, everything kind of put together in order to do that. And if you put everything together, I really think Ghost should have won that.
Yeah, and I'm a huge Ghost fan, but honestly, when I saw that Last of Us was announced as the winner, it was like, ugh, I should have saw this coming. And when you look at some of the reactions of some of the streamers on Twitch, they were like, "Oh, big surprise!" It was just like, just like with a no reaction kind of look to them. But yeah. But overall, I think the show was good. It definitely had better pacing than like the last few shows, without like all like the people having to give a speech. I think that was great. And
I think that's what they're going to probably go. What they're going to do going forward. I think that's.
All right, K-Mega, can I talk, K-Mega? Like,
Who's talking? I just said that.
All right. I'll let you wrap up your thoughts, and then we'll move on to the last subject.
All right. But when it comes to the VGAs, I think the thing here is, the people who are running it, they get what the people want out of this show. I know it's something that somebody complained about, where it was like, they had certain strings where they were just running off the names of winners. Like they would do like 5 categories real quick and just the names of them, and then they went right to, well, here's this video, and here's this trailer.
Yep.
And if you talk to, I think if you talk to the majority of gamers who watch the VGAs, I don't think a lot of them watch it for the awards, to be really honest with you. There's an interest there, but I think we're all watching it for gameplay reveals, for game trailers, for announcements, for things like that. I think that's what most gamers check out this show for. And I'm actually really happy that, the people who are running this recognize that. And I think that this past award show, they really showed that, hey, we know what you guys want. We're going to give you the awards. Yeah, and sometimes we're going to give you 5 in a row real quick, say, congratulations, and then here's this world premiere. Like, that's I think...
If they had that voice at the Game Awards, I would laugh.
You should hear Crispy do it, man. He is phenomenal at saying world premiere, man. But I that's what I'm happy about. I'm happy that they get that. It's not necessarily, it's an award show, but the majority of your audience would rather see reveals and game trailers.
I know, definitely. And like before like with all the other shows that they had, it always felt fluffed. It was just like nothing really going in the middle. It was like good announcements, and then like everything like from like when they gave the awards, that was just all fluff. But Yeah, I agree with you. To be honest, most people really don't watch for the awards because they know their favorite game is just gonna get cheaped out of an award. But
Yeah, Ori.
but all right. So what do you guys say we move on to the final subject? So
All right, let's do it.
all right. So I want to talk about Crunchyroll. So Sony finally bought Crunchyroll. Now I know this isn't completely gaming, but I thought it was interesting. Also, something interesting to note is that Crunchyroll has their own gaming publishing part of their company, I guess. So they do publish their own games. I don't know how that work with combining with Sony's own Funimation that also publishes their own games. But I think this is going to be a huge move for Sony when it comes to getting anime IP and using them for games. Because we already see with, I don't know if you guys saw the Demon Slayer or ever heard of Demon Slayer. Have you?
I've heard of it. I've heard of it.
Now, Demon Slayer is like a popular anime. It's been exploding, and I guess Sony's been using that because it's been made solely from Sony's own companies that have been doing anime. So recently, they just did a new Demon Slayer game announcement that's going to be on PS4 and PC, and it's published by Bandai Namco. So,
No, that means we can't use gameplay.
Huh?
Probably not for that game. No. Not for that game. You probably can't.
Is Bandai strict with their their gameplay?
Some of them they are. Like, I mean, some of those games I put on Xbox channel, and he got flagged, and then there was some that I put on mine, and I was like, damn, they flagging the hell out of my
God.
stuff. So.
I was right.
Yeah, I'm like, man.
But
so yeah, it's crazy.
But seeing as Sony's using their IP already to publish and use it to put on their consoles too, it's kind of interesting. It's kind of interesting.
It is. It is interesting. It is.
Because before, Sony's never Sony's always has different part of the companies, like the film division that also has a publishing arm for video games, but they mostly push mobile games. So I think with their new strategies, they've been saying that they want to focus all their stuff to work together within the company. So I think that I'm just using that as an example of them using anime to also help out their PS4, and if it does come to PS5, it also help out there too. But I want to get your guys' thoughts on like how this will benefit gaming too, because anime in terms of video games hasn't really been the biggest. It's only recently gained a little bit of popularity, like with the Dragon Ball Z games. And also, I forgot what that one game is where they had the crossover with like Yu-Gi-Oh, Dragon Ball, and all that.
Jump Force.
Yeah, Jump Force. Like only with like these recent games, anime for games has become big. But
when it
go ahead,
comes,
Bud.
when
I
it
don't even
comes,
know why you're trying to talk about this.
let him get his thoughts out.
I'm definitely on the outside looking in, but sometimes that's where you get the best perspective. You know what I'm saying? You don't really, if you don't have a dog in the race, you know what I'm saying? You're not going to lose money if your dog loses, basically. So, but like when it comes down to it, the only thing I could think of is now, they don't make anime strictly for Crunchyroll, right?
Some well, how it works is that they use anime companies that animate in Japan. They don't own them though. They just publish them on Crunchyroll because Crunchyroll and Funimation both distribute anime out here in the West.
Yeah.
But
so
they do hold the IPs, I believe, like for publishing.
Right, so, okay. So if they do hold the IPs, then what you're saying definitely holds water, brother. But if I were doing this, right? If I was working at Sony and I decided, hey, well, this is what we're gonna purchase Crunchyroll and stuff, what I would be trying to do is, anime has been growing for a while.
Yep.
And I know even a couple years back, people thought like it was gonna take a downturn at some point in time, and it hasn't done that yet. I remember anime starting to become a thing when Lupe Fiasco started to become a thing. Like I know that sounds like a weird relation, but that's just where that's the time span. It was back quite a few years ago, and it has been climbing ever since. And business wise, if Sony is investing in more anime IP to make video games, why not try to corner that market in the console space? Why not be known as the anime console for people who do get into anime, and being known for the ones who have Crunchyroll, and then the ones who are coming out with these IP. And like I said, Callie, like what you said, if Crunchyroll owns the IP that is coming out there, then yeah, they have a treasure trove of different different stories, different shows and stuff that they can make games out of, and kind of build that marketing kind of tactic as being known as the console that has all the anime. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I think that's a good move that way, because there was a lot of people who have put their money against anime, saying that it's just a fad. How many years can it climb before people can stop? Like, oh, it's just a fad, it's gonna drop off or whatnot. Especially I know, me and K Mega, we might be of the more experienced variant of people out there in terms of age. Mega, I hope you like how I said that. I didn't just
You just say old.
we didn't say we're more experienced.
Say primed. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah, that's fine.
Seasoned gamers.
Yeah.
Yes, and but the younger generation, like I look at my son, and there's just so many there's so much anime influence in his life. You know what I'm saying? And
Yep.
you can definitely see that with the younger generation coming up. This is a good way for PlayStation to hook that younger generation in.
Now
Like,
I wanted to
dedicate.
Now, I wanted to throw this out there. Now, we have heard rumors that Sony is going to step up their game with competing against Game Pass, right? So, like, we already seen that, of course, Game Pass is partnered with Funimation, which is owned by Sony. So, if they combine Crunchyroll and Funimation together, which are two different streaming services, and combine that with PS Plus somehow and PS Now, do you think that would be a game changer? Do you think that that would compete? No.
Not with Game Pass. Not with Game Pass. They would have to put games day and date.
I said they're starting to they stated they want to. So eventually things will change.
Well, they said that they didn't want to. That's not something that was in their future. But of course, we know it's Jim Ryan. It's you know what I'm saying.
Jim Ryan also said like a few weeks ago that they would have an answer for Game Pass in a couple weeks. It's been over a couple weeks. And still,
well, maybe this is it. Maybe this is it right here. Maybe this is the whole Crunchyroll thing could be their thing. But I think you're onto something with the premise of what he's trying to do, adding Crunchyroll and what they got for Bibby. I think
Billy.
I mean Billy, and then Funimation. So they definitely are going that path. So it would make sense.
Yeah, and I think that's gonna be a bit this would bring like big IPs, like they an example. One of the games that exploded for them, at least on mobile, was this game called Fate. Fate. I don't know if you ever heard of this series.
Yeah, Fate. That's their big. That's one of Sony's biggest games.
Yep, it earns them like $1 billion.
Yeah, it's huge.
So if they could just keep earning billions through those games too, and use them to support their consoles too, that'd be huge for them. Like bringing in more IP and making huge new games. It's just like a constant stream of success.
All right, so let me go into my old man zone right here. So, Bot, thank you for that introduction. But let me
seasoned.
go. Let me go. My seasoned gamer level right here.
All right.
So this is again when I trip out when I hear stuff and I might trip out a couple of people when I start bringing up these names. Okay, so Galgo 13. That was a game I played the hell out of it. I loved it. It was on NES. There was Arena 88, which was on Sega. There was Robotech. And of course you go back to Fist of the North Star. Those was on NES. That was on Sega. You had Ghost in the Shell. You had even Akira on the NES. Now I didn't have it. I think that was just only for the Japanese versions. But of course I used to be a huge anime brat when I was younger back in the 80s, and 90s. And so it's like to me, but those games were there. Dragon Ball Z has been there forever. There's a Dragon Ball Z game that my friend had when he modded his NES that was on that console. So there's been anime games from the very beginning. There is huge amount of games. Like, I mean, you got Yu-Gi-Oh, which is one of my favorite PlayStation one games. I loved Forbidden Memories. Good Lord. I put so many hours in that game. And it's just tons, you know what I'm saying? So, and then when you come and you look at now for like, how much I like fighters. You got Guilty Gear, Rev, you got you got Blaze Blue, you got I forget what that one game is called that's made from I refuse to buy it because it's so expensive, but it's only on PlayStation and PC. But it's a fighter. I see like Jabari and them playing it and stuff, and I'm like, damn, I want to get that game, but I can't think of the name of the game right now. But then you got a game that I have on my PlayStation. I got Hack GU Last Recode. I got just tons of these games, and so there's tons of anime games that's been here from from way back. And so for Sony to get these games, to get the anime rights to these games, or to have them to be published on their console, now knowing like what Bot said with rappers and artists and just people, just celebrities that are more in tune and more accepting to the anime universe, it's huge for them. It's huge for them.
Nerd culture.
Culture. Over, it is taken over. Like the stuff that,
the stuff that people used to say wasn't cool back then is like just exploding.
Hell no, you used to get beat up if you sit there and you said you liked anime. You know what I'm saying? The reason why I never got messed with, I played football and stuff like that, and I used to protect the little dudes when they sit there and they had their little comic books and anime stuff. Man, you didn't talk about playing, loving video games or talking about anime back then. You get your ass beat. Like, dudes would really come after you for saying some stuff like that. So the culture is Bot. So you're saying, like, you just couldn't be
too, brother. All right, listen, I was a defensive tackle. Okay.
No. I'm just saying, how the stigma was about people who played video games and how people would, the U.S. government was coming after video games. It was a whole different time back in the late 90s.
I had big guys protecting me. I was like,
no, I'm talking about like people's. I was
defensive
tackle. Oh my God, bro! I'm talking about like people's thought process about gaming and comic books and stuff like that. Yeah, they thought if you thought you was a nerd, they would come after you. They would harass you. Yeah, so like.
But other it definitely wasn't a widespread thing. You would talk about sports. That would be the main thing right there. Sports and girls.
Yeah, like, and I mean, you would sit there and you have friends that would play games, but gaming itself, like, you would have to find, and that's how I gravitated to a lot of nerds, because I enjoyed that stuff. And you get into a work. That's why, like, when I was talking with Incognito and them, and I was telling them about my stories about like people fighting and stuff, and we was playing Street Fighter and stuff. That was the culture. Like, you would, like, it was a thing of competition. Then it was cool. But if you're just talking about playing an RPG or something like that, people would look at you crazy. Like, bro, you play that weird ass shit. Now that wouldn't be the exact words that they would say, but it was different back then. So seeing anime now come up, and there's some of the anime I try to watch Toonami, and there's some of this stuff. I see a chef anime where dude is cooking stuff. I'm like, this shit looks crazy as hell. I can't get into that. And then there's like this big yellow thing.
Oh no, yeah, anime is definitely weird sometimes. But
yeah. yeah. And you got a big old.
But then
happy
again,
face guy
but then again,
screaming.
what entertainment isn't weird in certain aspects?
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
gaming wasn't always like the biggest like form of entertainment. Now that we see it, like with like great cutscenes, great story,
Yeah.
like before, like when PlayStation came into the scene and 3D was becoming a thing, games kind of there wasn't really much in terms of story.
No, you're not. You're right. And so now it's that like I mean you look at the game that's coming out for from Namco Namkai Namco Bandai Nexus something Nexus. That
Oh,
game
Scarlet
looks
Nexus, yeah.
yeah Scarlet Nexus looks dope. That that to see what that's doing and then
It
Sony
kind of
investing into that stuff, it's going to be great. It's going to be great for anime fans. I don't know how. I mean, it's huge. Anime is huge. It's bigger than it's ever been now. So it's going to benefit Sony greatly. But if this is where they're talking about, competing with Game Pass, I just don't know about that. Me personally, but it will benefit Sony for sure. It fits into their culture.
All right, well that's fair. I
Yeah.
think it would be like great like to see like possibly Sony getting anime fans onto their console and using that to boost their subscription services.
It would help me support the brand. I support. I would definitely support it. They need to bring a Robotech or something. I'll
Yeah.
be on it.
And not only that, but if they manage to make more games out of this and it could help the PlayStation brand out, it could give even more competition with with the amount of IPs probably Xbox will be putting out in like 2 to 3 years with Bethesda.
No, you're right. You're right. No, you're
Because
right. You're right.
let's not forget that the way they publish these games isn't through PlayStation, it's through other publishers themselves. So
Right.
they
Right,
can't.
and look at Persona. Persona is got an anime, and so it's thriving now. It
Yep.
used to be, it was back from the PlayStation. It was on Game Boy. I played. It wasn't Persona. It was called Timigami. I can't pronounce that.
Tin Megami Sensei or
Yeah. I can't pronounce it, but yeah, I used to play that on my PlayStation 1. Like it was, I know the franchise. It's just that the fact of it is that it just wasn't popular. But you got to give Sony and Atlas and the Sega, props for them to keep on making these games because obviously it had a small audience, but look at it now. Now I guarantee you when the next Persona comes out, Persona 6 come out, we might be looking at maybe 5 million copies being sold instead of 2.5.
yeah. Oh, okay, that's all I had to really say about the Crunchyroll deal. But you have anything to say, Xbot, or you get all your thoughts out?
I'm pretty much good, man.
All right.
I I had to.
All right, so let's wrap things up and I'll get your outros out of the way. So, K Mega, man, thanks for coming on. And
Mega Man.
and
Thank you, man. Appreciate
and I just want to say, because this is the episode to celebrate my start off in podcasting, I want to say a huge thanks to you because you were one of the first people to help me get started. And you were actually the first show I was on. So, just huge thanks, man.
problem, man. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I love what you do. You know what I'm saying? It takes time to move and to grow, but I see that you're making that happen and you're doing it at a fast pace, man. I mean, I remember as long as you have been on, I was at like 21 subs, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was just grinding, and I see that you already, way surpassed that. So, man, it was, congratulations to you and to the people that pay attention to you and follow you, man. I mean, you do a great work, man. Just keep at it. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't be more proud of you, brother.
Yeah, thanks, man. And you, Xbot, I gotta thank you for having me on your shows whenever I ask. I know it was out of when I tweeted you first time when I wanted to be on your show, but you've been a real one ever since then. You're the person to talk to, man.
Oh man, well, first off, man, congratulations. I see your channel growing. It's really cool. I think we had a great show tonight, and for the people who didn't get a chance to check it out live, one of the great things about YouTube is they can always go back. Like it's archived there. Like you can go back and check it out whenever they want to, and It was an awesome show. We were one person missing. I don't know what's going on there. A certain PlayStation fan decided like they couldn't show up tonight, so I don't know about that. But no,
Now,
man, Callie, like first off, man, you support me and my channel and people in the community like crazy, and I can really appreciate that. Your love for creativity was one of the first things that I saw in you, man, and kind of like you know. Even when were talking about like the dreams and different games being made and smaller titles and what they were doing and stuff like that, you could tell the passion for gaming that's in you and the attention to detail and the artistry and the creativeness and stuff like that, man. So keep doing what you're doing, bro. And I love having something to look at, when it comes to a podcast, man. And this layout with the gameplay is fire. And I'll let you know right now, there are no podcasts on Friday night that can hold a candle to the way that this show looks, brother. I'm just gonna throw it out there.
I think your show rivals it.
Yeah, well, my show's on Thursday, so.
Maybe I just have to move my show over to Thursdays then. Nah, just kidding.
You want to challenge me, bro. You want to challenge me.
Nah, because I also want the opportunity to post some gameplay and win your competition.
Ooh, so you know what's funny about that? The way we have it set up now, when we do the winning gameplay, like whoever wins, their winning gameplay gets shown for the rest of the month, like at least in some part on the show. So if you ever came in as a special guest with gameplay and you won, like the next 3-4 episodes, your gameplay would be in that episode, whether it's in the intro part, whether it's in the starting soon, whether it's in the gameplay when we're talking about topics. It would be somewhere in there for the next 3 to 4 shows after that, bro.
Oh, all right. Now, did something happen?
My internet is getting really bad real quick.
Same here. I'm getting... What the hell? Oh, okay. It just fixed itself. Oh, okay. On that note...
that means we better hurry up.
Yeah.
Thank you, brother, for having me on. I really do appreciate it.
Okay, and with that being said, I would just want to say... Huge shoutouts to FC Violent, who couldn't make it, and also BitCloud, who couldn't make it. And I will be moving my podcast over to Saturdays. Probably an earlier time, maybe around 2 p.m., maybe. It just depends. Okay. But, yeah. So, hope you guys watch at that time, and stay with my channel, and hope you guys like and subscribe. So, with that, peace!